Today I'm putting you all in the cockpit for this first-person POV flight to one of NorCal's not-so-secret gems. We're flying to Lake Pillsbury.
SoCal to Sky Hawk, 916 November Tango, 5000.
916 November Tango, SoCal approach, voluntary altimeter 298. Confirm this will be a full stop.
Aim for the orange dot, could land on the green dot, runway 27. Good turn, tail director, keep the turn coming all the way around to the runway.
Clear! Hey guys, and welcome back to Aviate68. So I know we've flown out to Lake Pillsbury in the past. However, that video was mostly focused on how we worked with the RAF to clean up the airfield in 2024. In this video, I wanted to show more of the beauty of the surrounding area as well as provide some tips and tools to help you fly the backcountry safely. The first one is the RAF's Airfield Guide. Now this tool is awesome, and it's not just for backcountry pilots. If you're a general aviation pilot, you should know about this. By signing in, you can access the Airfield Guide, and what this is basically a comprehensive online directory of public and private airstrips that cater to recreational aviation. We're gonna go ahead and click on Gravelly Valley, 1 Quebec 5. You can see on the left-hand side that we're immediately presented with a bunch of information regarding the strip. Now most of the stuff you could find on your own, so this is the coolest part. If you continue to scroll down, you'll find real comments from real pilots that have flown into the strip, and that type of knowledge is invaluable. You also have the ability to view hazards that surround the strip, not all of which are terrain related. We're talking animals and weather as well, things you won't see by just reading the sectional. Overall, the Airfield Guide is a great tool for safety, and if you're planning on getting into this type of flying, I'm gonna go out and say you need to be using it.
You guys ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Lampson traffic, November 12 Alpha Kilo, flight of 2, departing runway 28 will be a right-hand turnout, northbound departure, Lampson.
No, I'm fine with it. I don't see anybody, but I got the wing right in the way. Yeah, we're good. Okay.
Alright.
Left traffic says 895, taking active runway 28 with a right crossing departure to the northwest. Lampson. Correction, northeast. I didn't turn my noise canceling on. Could you press the button for me? Yeah. That would be nice. Oh. Thank you. Just let me know if you need me to slow down or speed up or whatnot. I'm expecting you on my right wing.
After departure, we made a right-hand turnout and flew along the southwest side of Clear Lake as we proceeded towards the mountains. Man, I gotta say, this is the kind of flying I just love to do. There really is no other experience quite like flying in formation with a friend over some of the most beautiful terrain in California, and it's all right in our backyard. I say it all the time, but in the US, we are truly blessed with how free and open general aviation is, and I hope it stays that way for a long time.
Leaving altitude.
If you want to lead us in maybe like a right 270 and we can set up for an approach on the field.
So here's my thinking. We're currently right over the lake at about 3,000 feet, which is still pretty high. The airport's not too far away, so a right 270 descending turn is going to give us that time and distance that we need to lose altitude in order to set up for an approach to the strip. After we completed our turn, you can see that we're now at a much more reasonable altitude, and we're now getting ready to make an upwind entry where we're going to visually inspect the airfield and look at its condition.
I'm still at about your 7 o'clock, but you got plenty of space.
Visual inspection of the airfield you're about to land on is so critical when operating in the backcountry, with the FAA themselves recommending multiple passes over the strip before committing to a landing.
Alright, what are we looking at?
Even though Gravelly Valley is a public use airport, every landing here is a unique one based on a number of different factors. I need to identify wind direction and strength, where the threshold starts, landing distance available, and I also need to look for the size and frequency of rocks as well as the overall condition of the runway. On top of that, I need to run through what my go-around procedure will be if I need to abort the approach. And of course, as with any other landing, you're thinking about weight and balance and density altitude all the time.
Vehicles off the...
Yeah.
As we're flying over the runway, I'm getting a good look at the runway condition, and honestly, it looks pretty good. From up here, the rocks don't look that big, and the tire tracks on the runway don't seem that bad. Because I've flown here before, I've already identified that the amount of usable runway is a little over 3,000 feet, which is plenty for our Glastar on both takeoff and landing. I also know from previous experience that if a go-around is necessary, a turn to the right or left must be made immediately to seek lower terrain. A turn to the left is preferred because it gives us a little more space.
You want to do a landing on it, then turn around and take off? Yeah, why not? I think Ross and I are going to do a landing. If you want to loiter over the lake for a bit, we'll do a full stop, flip around, and take off and just see how it is.
Okay, I'll hang out around 3,000.
Sounds good.
Let me know how it is.
Yeah.
So with everything considered, we make the decision to go for landing.
Gravelly Valley traffic, November 12 Alpha Kilo, right downwind, we'll be landing from the south to the north, Gravelly Valley.
I'd classify Gravelly Valley as a good beginner strip. At 200 feet wide and over 3,000 feet of usable runway, if you bring the right aircraft and you consider all the factors that I've talked about, this is a fairly safe strip to practice at compared to some of the other ones out there.
Gravelly Valley traffic, just 8 and 5, 3,000 feet just south of the field. We'll be maneuvering over the lake, Gravelly Valley.
From this point, the standard landing flows apply. I use gumps.
Alright.
Both gas selector switches are on, undercarriage is down, mixture is full rich, prop is all the way in, power is adjusted, and switches are set, and seatbelts are secured. From this point on, it's all about flying a stabilized and safe approach. It's important to remember that the same basic techniques that apply to landing on any paved runway also apply to backcountry landing. I'm making a very smooth turn from base to final, I have my speed totally under control, and I have my flaps set to full.
So I think we gotta cross the road and then that's when the actual runway starts. I'll get it pretty low though. Gravelly Valley 12 Alpha Kilo right base to final, landing Gravelly Valley.
Autopilot.
What?
Autopilot. Disconnect.
Just to make it interesting.
Now because I know I have 3,000 feet remaining, I'm not too concerned about hitting the threshold right at the start. I'm actually way more concerned about making a smooth touchdown so I don't damage the gear or the prop. And of course that beeping sound you're hearing is the angle of attack indicator showing that we're very close to the minimum controllable airspeed. It turns out landing slower rather than faster over huge rocks is a good thing for your aircraft.
Got her 3-pointed, no problem that time.
Yeah, I had it way back though, like back on the power curve. I had to be over the threshold at like 54 or something. I think that's what I saw. I mean, it's bumpy, but it's not that bad.
I try and keep it rolling if you can.
Alright, now for the takeoff, the name of the game is to protect the prop. That's why Ross suggested a rolling start here. We're gonna smoothly apply that power so we don't potentially nick the blade with rocks.
Nicely done.
Gravelly Valley 112, fuel is departing Gravelly Valley.
Now keep in mind some of this stuff is case dependent and highly depends on the factors of where you are right at that moment. For example, if we were operating out of a shorter strip, we may not have had the luxury of smoothly applying power like we did.
The only thing that bothers me about that is, like you said, the rock, picking up a rock with the prop. You're 10, 11 o'clock.
I got you.
I think it's important to keep that in mind, and I'm going to paste links to official backcountry flying guidance from the FAA and AOPA in the description below. I hope you all enjoyed this quick taste of what it's like to fly over what I'd call some of the more challenging terrain in our area.
You want to lead back to Decon?
Sure.
Our backcountry may not be as intense as Idaho or Wyoming, but it still requires proficiency and skill to ensure you're flying it safely.
Well, that was fun.
And my goal with this video was to showcase some of those safe practices.
Yeah.
Flying over these mountains offers such a unique perspective on the land, and I'm glad I get to share that with all of you. We have tons of videos scheduled for the new year, including getting to add a new aircraft to my roster, as well as saying goodbye to one of my favorite planes, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a future video. Until then, remember to stay safe, keep flying, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.